guys, Sarah here from Highland Haven Australian Shepherds, and this is episode 25 of my dog breeding video series. Let's update you on the progress of the puppies. They are 11 days old today. Right now I'm filming from the floor of the room. They're not in the whelping box at the moment. At this age, it's nice to sort of change the scenery a little bit for mom and for pup. They are old enough now that I've been able to take down my heating lamp as well as the pig rail. Let's take a look. So the box is over here. So no more pig rail. They're big enough and loud enough so that if mom does lay on them, they squeak like crazy and she'll get off them. So they're hardy enough to not need that pig rail at this age, at 11 days. And I used to have the heat lamp here. I've taken that down as well because, again, they're big enough to generate a little bit of heat themselves, and they just cuddle together when they're cold. I'm still keeping this room pretty warm. This room is about 72 at this point, and it's not terribly cold outside. That also makes a difference. You don't want it to be very cold outside and like maybe a little drafty inside. If we were in the middle of the winter, I'd still probably have that heat lamp on them just to be safe. But since it's about, I don't know, 56 degrees outside right now, I'm comfortable turning that external heat off, and they can cuddle them with each other or, you know, with mom. Here's mom right now. She is cleaning someone. Who is this? Oh, this is Bonus. She's doing a good job. All right, so last video I talked about coloration, puppy coloration. And I dropped the video, and my husband, who normally has to have his arm twisted to watch my videos, I guess he's had enough of me in person, but he had decided to watch that video right after it came out in its entirety. And he turned to me and said, "Why didn't you discuss double merles?" And I said to him, well, that's because everybody knows about double merles. And he looked at me and said, no. So I'm going to start this video by adding an addendum to the last video regarding coloration. So, double merles. For those of you who don't know, when you are breeding Australian Shepherds, you cannot breed two merles together. And that is true for Australian Shepherds and for other breeds, and even if they're a different breed. So if I had a merle in a different breed, I still could not breed it to a merle Australian Shepherd. It would cause the same problems. And those problems are referred to as double merle. Now, I shouldn't say you can't breed two merles together, because you certainly physically can and produce puppies. What I'm really saying is that you shouldn't ever breed two merles together, because what happens is when they carry two copies of the merle gene, puppies have a 25% chance of being blind and or deaf. And that is because the gene for pigmentation is also associated with the gene for hearing and sight. I'm not a geneticist, but that is basically it in a nutshell. So the merle gene, what it does is it takes this solid color and it creates these mottled colors, right? This white, essentially, that breaks up this color. That's what creates the merle. And that same gene is associated with hearing and sight, which is why that can happen. So, you know, the most important thing you need to know when you breed any dog that carries a merle gene, and other dogs do, Shelties come to mind, you can never breed, or should never breed, two merles together. So that's my addendum to the last video. I'm sorry I left that very important topic out. So let's go on to today's topic, which is puppy temperament. So Australian Shepherd temperament, when I talk to my potential new puppy owners, people who have an interview and are interested in purchasing one of my puppies, one of the first things I will say to them is, Australian Shepherd is not a golden retriever. They are reserved dogs with strangers in general. So a golden retriever standard is to basically never have met a stranger, right? People who have goldens will tell you that. This dog has never met an enemy. This dog thinks that every single person they meet is their new best friend. And that is the beauty and the love of a golden retriever. Australian Shepherds don't have that gene because they are herding dogs. And part of herding is protection. They can be a little bit cool to people that they don't know, a little bit reserved. That does not say that they should be aggressive or a fear biter in any way. But my dogs, for instance, do want to sniff you and be around you for a few minutes before you are sitting next to them, touching them and petting them. So because they tend to be a little bit reserved with strangers, it is super important that they have a lot of socialization. Very highly intelligent dogs, like all herding dogs, that reserved and suspicion level can go a little haywire, and early socialization is super important to sort of keep that in check. That is also something that you would breed for, right? So if you have your mother dog is highly suspicious, right? She has a real distinct suspicion level in her personality. You would not breed her to a male, to a sire who also has that very high suspicion level. You'd want to find a sire who's a little bit more happy-go-lucky. And there are plenty of Aussies out there who are super sweet and happy-go-lucky. So sort of balancing the two personality types is super important. The other thing you want to breed for is energy level. So Meadow, for example, is high energy. She does have an off switch. However, that off switch is not always easily activated. Meadow will play and fetch and run until she drops. So it's important that she has had good obedience training, so that when I tell her to go lay down, she can go lay down and sort of turn off. Ty, as you know, is a pretty mellow guy. So he has 3 speeds, 0, 5 miles an hour, and 60. That's it. There's nothing in between. So most of the time, he's a super mellow guy. He is a little bit reserved with strangers, but super duper sweet. So I like his personality, and his mellowness mixed with Meadow sort of brings him up a little bit, and he brings Meadow's high energy down a little bit. And it's important to me that I breed sort of medium energy Aussies, because high energy Aussies don't do well in pet homes. High energy Aussies need really experienced owners that are super active, or they need to be on a farm. So high energy Aussies aren't really suitable for pets, and that's why I don't breed them that way. So with every new puppy owner that I have, I give the whole lecture about the importance of early socialization, not only with people, but also with places, with noises, and with other dogs. I, of course, also highly encourage good obedience training. It's impossible to communicate with your dog if you don't have a common language. And good dog obedience training will give you that common language. So, although this was pretty long, this video, that's really just scratching the surface of what's required of a good Aussie owner. Good books out there. There's tons of great videos on YouTube on dog behavior and dog training. I encourage everybody who has any kind of a dog to do as much research as they can and make sure they really understand their breed tendencies, their breed personality traits, so that they can be prepared for the dog that they're bringing into their home as their new family member. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're enjoying this series, please like, follow, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye.